This morning, let's explore freedom and happiness. This is Kilroy. Here we go. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This morning we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Once again this morning we could explore freedom and happiness that you too could meditate like a Jedi. If at any point during this live stream you have a question about philosophy or meditation or even chanting, do not be shy. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right hand side of the screen. Now, if you're watching a replay, there won't be a chat window there. But don't worry, there will be a comment area below the video where you can type your questions. Well, I forgot something, so without further, well, first things first, let's see. It is Dark 100 here in California, and if you are as dappled and drowsy as myself, you might find it beneficial to knock out 2 or 3 repetitions of geriatric step-back squat thrusts before an inspiring image, such as a copy of the Tao Te Ching. I'm going to take a moment to adjust the dimensions of my webcam display. Un momento. Okay, here we go. Without further ado, let me check for questions. Finding none. Let's chant a passage from Thomas Barom's translation of the Dhammapada with subtle adaptations by yours truly. Let's chant together. Wakefulness is the way to life. The fool sleeps as if he were already dead. But the master is awake and he lives forever. He watches, he is clear how happy he is, for he sees that wakefulness is life. How happy he is following the path of the awakened. With great enthusiasm he meditates, savoring freedom and happiness. So whenever you see something in standard font but italicized, that's me doing a word substitution or an adaptation. I think it was Dr. Martin Luther King who insisted that although everybody dies, not everybody truly lives. And so the author of this text is insisting that wakefulness, mindfulness, is the way to life. It is a mistake to confuse mindfulness for concentration. Why is that? Let's go over here. Concentration is a manifestation of someone who's living their life rigidly, fearfully, controllingly, as in an elitist, competitive, and cruel manner. That's concentration. All rigid, all the time, and quite controlling. What's mindfulness? Mindfulness is practiced with vulnerability. It's vulnerable, passive, visceral, and random. And it is the natural forward flowing of someone who is flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, and cooperative. You cannot concentrate your way to letting go any more than you can make love, than you can fuck your way to virginity. It cannot be done. It's a lovely way to spend an afternoon, but will not help you accomplish that goal. The fool sleeps as if he were already dead. There's a wonderful movie called Shaun of the Dead. And it is a comedic send-up of the zombie genre with truly horrific moments here and there. The movie begins with the protagonist, Shaun, just shuffling through life as if he was a zombie until he meets real zombies, not metaphoric zombies, and that wakes him up. But the master is awake and he lives forever. In the overarching context of the Buddhist literature, he lives forever seems to be hyperbolic. And it stands in contrast to being, a member of the Walking Dead. What does it mean to master anything? Whether it's tying your shoes, practicing mathematics, anything. Mastering something means we get so good at it that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. I have yet to master that particular flavor of geriatric step back squat thrusts. I have to really focus when I'm doing it, because I'm navigating so damn many injuries. So I have not yet mastered it. When I'm able to do it effortlessly and flawlessly, then we'll talk about mastery. He watches, he is clear, how happy he is, for he sees that wakefulness is life. This is not a statement of faith. He doesn't believe that wakefulness is life. There's a wonderful commercial from the 70s, early 70s. I said, "What's this?" The waiter said, "Try it. You'll like it." In the Hebrew Bible, there's a passage that reads, "Taste and see." So the inference here is that this person, began as a novice like everybody else, learned how to watch. He learned how to watch his sensations and flavors and scents and sounds and sights and the like. He learned how to clearly perceive both the ugly and the beautiful emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings, the glorious as well as the grotesque. And that, from that vulnerability, comes happiness. And so, not just theorizing, but from actual practice, he's able to viscerally experience that this path of noticing and letting go in harmony with our inhalations and exhalations is the secret sauce that makes life really work. Why, even in the Hebrew scriptures, we read that Isaac was meditating in the field at sunset. So this is an ancient practice. How happy he is following the path of the awakened. This is incredibly important. In a previous lesson, I think it was last week, we discussed the fourth enlightenment factor, which is joy. So a shithead would say, if you ain't joyful, you can't meditate. A wise man would say, the amount of joy you're experiencing is the barometer of the effectiveness of your meditation. Concentration masquerading as meditation will make you miserable and cranky and neurotic. But truly effective mindfulness and meditation will fill you with joy. With great enthusiasm, he meditates, savoring freedom and happiness. Some people translate this as faith, but that's the people who are big purveyors of faith are typically indoctrinated by the duality of those who live under the law and those who live over the law. The upper crusties love to tell people all about faith because faith disempowers people. Faith tells people to ignore what their senses tell them and ignore what they're feeling, and living in conflict, they're much easier to manipulate. This meditator's enthusiasm comes not from promises he read or heard. This enthusiasm comes from the enjoyment, the visceral, debaucherous enjoyment he or she actually receives from the union of mindfulness and meditation, of noticing and letting go, in a energizing and joy-inspiring manner. No one who has reached puberty and sampled the pleasures of sex turns away from it and says, never mind. Anyone who's awakened to sexuality because of the nature of evolution and our dopamine-oriented reward circuit want more. That's how we evolved. Similarly, when we are taught meditation correctly and it is truly pleasurable, we become enthusiastic for it. If our practice of meditation is a death march, if it's a sacrifice, we have been cheated out of a fun experience and it becomes nothing more than a way of squandering our life. Something bad does not produce something good. Something good produces something even better. Every 12 hours, I broadcast a live meditation class without any ads. This channel, supported exclusively by the generosity of viewers just like you. With your help, this channel could come to support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this blows your skirt up and you'd like to help out, even for as little as the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, then by all means poke around the description area below the video. You will find a link for Patreon, another for PayPal, a YouTube button to join, and a second YouTube button for Super Chat. Click whichever one speaks to you. And if you can't afford, no worries. You're welcome to come. You're welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to download stuff. You are welcome. I'm going to check for questions, and finding none, going to check the time. And I think it'd be fun if we chanted 6 passages of my adaptation and amplification of the Padmakata group's translation of Zapatra Rinpoche's final meditation manual. It's going to take me a minute or two to dig that out, so please bear with me. Let's see. I'm going to tap button 14, and I'm going to open up not a passage, but a thingamawatsi. Dzogchen. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Easy Tantra. I'm looking for Buddha's Easy Tantra. I'm looking for Patrul's Lost Manual. This is Tuesday morning. Okay. Now I'm going to open the hood for a moment. Fabulous. Insert pictures. Let's say copy. Okay. Let's chant. All phenomena. I want to make sure. Let me verify that the screen display is synchronized. All phenomena are like magical illusions at the Buddhas, but these days the illusions are more illusory than ever. Trickeries conjured up by devious illusionists. Beware of the illusions of this degenerate age's ways. All talk is like an echo, said the Buddha, but these days it is more like the re-echo of an echo. What the echoes say and what they mean are not the same. So do not take any notice of these insidious echo words. Excellent. Whoever you see is not human but a fraud. Whatever people say is not right but just lies. So since these days there is no one you can trust, you had better live alone and stay free. If your actions conform with Dharma, you could hurt many beings. If it was so truthful, most people could get angry. If your mind is truly good and pure, they could judge it a defect. Now is the time to keep your own way hidden. Hide your body by staying alone in the mountain wilderness. Hide your speech by cutting off contact and saying very little. Hide your mind by being continuously aware of your own faults alone. This is what it means to be a hidden yogi. While Hot Dog checking for questions, finding none, I'm going to open up a new text. Let's see. First I'm going to tap button 9. Oops, button. And I'm going to rummage around the grandma's trunk that is my computer. All right. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. But may I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by relying on the Take 2. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Let's seize this opportunity to consider how stress and dependence is but an illusion, and is empty of any permanence to grasp for shoving and reaching increased stress. We're going to play now with the silent and mental recitation of 4 rhetorical questions in harmony with our inhalations and exhalations. O teacher, like awareness, please come to this crown, that I may train in awareness and letting go. Pay. O teacher, like awareness, please come to this crown, that I may train in awareness and letting go. Bay. O teacher, like awareness, please come to this crown, that I may train in awareness and letting go. Bay. We turn our attention now to Love's 4 mantra meditations, whereby we leapfrog over the tyranny of our competitive tendencies. May I lavish all circumstances, bodies, communication, and minds with good fortune, health, love, and wisdom, that I may master love and letting go. With only invoke the example of the Moony Wise One, Maha greatly wise one, Moony, yea, of the Shakya Soha, we wish enlightenment for all. Through the cause and effect of my practice of love and letting go, may each sentient being of each world now practice with me in unison. As we chant the mantra, I could feel as if gold rays were emitting from my thumbnails as horizontal 12-syllable mantra rosary at our hearts. Lavishing all circumstances, bodies, communication, and minds with good fortune, health, love, and wisdom, centered and spontaneous. Let us lovingly wish that all circumstances of all beings was now as fortunate as a Buddha's mythic paradise or Pure Land or Vati. Let us lovingly wish that all bodies of all beings was now as healthy. Oh, let me rephrase this. Let us lovingly wish that all bodies of all beings now possess the health depicted in Buddhist art by an enlightened archetype or yidam. Let us lovingly wish that all speech and communication and the relationships they affect now be as loving as that of a Buddha, symbolized by a mantra. Let us lovingly wish that all minds of all beings now be as wise as a Buddha's mind, symbolized by a one-syllable mantra, which is known as a seed mantra, or if you prefer Sanskrit, a bija mantra. Now it's time for Wisdom's 4 Mantra Meditations, whereby we shall leapfrog over the tyranny of our clinging tendencies. May I let go of all minds, communication, bodies, and circumstances, as if they were as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be non-graspable to the hand. Oh, excuse me. Let us lovingly wish. Oh, I take this back. Okay. We're going to play with 4 rhetorical questions. How is it that as we inhale, the functions of our mind, perception, such as perception, emotion, intention, thought, memory, and imagination, appear to us so clearly, and yet, when we physically relax as best we can into our exhalation, mind's exact same functions now feel as if they were as non-graspable as a one-syllable mantra or bija comprised only of light. Excuse me. As we inhale, how is it that, let me rephrase it, when we observantly inhale, we can observe how our speech and communication and the relationships they affect appear to us sound so very tangible, and yet as we physically relax into our exhalation, this exact same communication and the relationships they affect could feel as if they were as non-graspable as a mantra comprised only of light. As we inhale, we could observe how very sensual our forms could feel. And yet, when we relax into the exhalation, each of these forms could now feel as if they were as non-graspable as an archetype of enlightenment or yidam comprised only of light. As we inhale, we could observe how our circumstances appear so vividly, and yet, as we physically relax into our exhalation, these exact same circumstances can now feel as if they were as non-graspable as a Buddha's mythic paradise, or Pure Land, or Vati, comprised only of light. We're going to play with, well, this is wobbling all over the place. Let's see here. We're going to play with 4 rhetorical questions. And as we do, we're going to use melting as a metaphor of impermanence to help us to leapfrog over our clinging tendencies. And we're going to use absorption as a metaphor of interdependence to help us to better leapfrog over our competitive tendencies. How could all places blissfully melt into rainbow light that absorbs into this body? How could all bodies blissfully melt into rainbow light that absorbs into this speech? How could all speech blissfully melt into rainbow light that absorbs into this mind? How could all minds blissfully melt into rainbow light that absorbs into infinite emptiness? May all mind, speech, forms, and lots have the wisdom, love, health, and boon of Buddha's mythical Bija Mantra Yidam and Vati. Having sat for the better part of an hour, it could be quite refreshing to knock out a few geriatric step back squat thrusts before a Buddha image, if one is handy and available. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path through relying upon the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Yes, there was only one. May all beings like the Buddha, master being flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, cooperative, and kind. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow spontaneous and uncontrived. May all beings like the Buddha master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate all others. May each being take auspicious rebirth, complete the Buddha's path, and then help all others do likewise. At this very moment, for the peoples and the nations of the earth, may not even the names disease, famine, war, or suffering be heard. Rather, may their kind conduct merit wealth and prosperity increase. And may supreme good fortune and well-being always arise for them. Beginning with Kuntu Sangpo and Great Dorje Chang down to my own kind Sri Lama. Whatever aspirations they have made to benefit beings, may I accomplish them all. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance, free from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging. May all beings everywhere plagued by sufferings of body and mind receive a notion of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. In approximately 10 2/3 hours, we could return to explore Tao Te Ching, comprehension, and meditation, as well as chant and meditate some more. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.